I know this is a project and a character that you've lived with for a long time. There's enormous responsibility, obviously, with portraying Dr. King on screen. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that. And one of the things I was most appreciative of in the film was the intimacy of the performance, that it's not the grand public figure all the time, but it is a man, a husband, a man who's grappling with other people, and sometimes just one-on-one in rooms. Can you talk a bit about how you put that performance together?
Yeah. Well, for me, when I first read the script in 2000, I'm English, yes.
The first level, I said, whoa.
I was surprised. I was like, what did I say? She went, oh my God.
Doesn't that even make that performance even more amazing?
Oh, that was the best reaction so far. Fantastic. Well, I'm going to be really English now. Well, I first read the part I first read it in 2007, and in all honesty, the script at that point was more focused on LBJ. King was not, I wouldn't go as far as to say a peripheral character, but he was by no means the central character. So in many ways, the framing was what we've come to be used to. You know, these films are told through white eyes as the protagonist. And but when I love white people, by the way. It's okay, especially you. Oh dear. But what I really gravitated towards was the man, was King the man. And, you know, he was a man who was governed by his faith. He was a preacher, and his faith led him to the notion of love as a weapon against hatred. And it ballooned out from his faith into being politically so savvy, radical in his own way. And those were things, you know, self-sacrifice is the attribute I am most, I admire most in people, certainly something I try and aspire to. And so that was my inroads into this man. That was the thing I thought, wow, what an incredible thing. Now, being British, being of Nigerian descent, not having grown up in this country, I knew who Dr. King was, but I wasn't burdened with, oh, Dr. King. I really was about, wow, this incredible man. And, you know, having read the script and feeling this very deep spiritual connection with him and feeling like God told me that I would play this role, on the 24th of July, 2007, I wrote it in my prayer diary because I know that voice. And God told me, and that's the only reason I would dare think, oh yeah, this is going to happen, because like I say, I wouldn't cast me, and unfortunately for me at the time, the director who was attached felt the same way, and didn't cast me. But you know, this feeling stayed with me, and then by 2010, I was cast by Lee Daniels, but we just couldn't get the film off the ground. I went and did The Paperboy and The Butler with him instead. But in the meantime, I'd worked with the wonderful Ava DuVernay on Middle of Nowhere, and she showed me things about myself I didn't know were in there. She took me to, and in a relatively short amount of time, I mean, I only had maybe 7 days or thereabouts on that film, but just her ability to mine humanity out of characters. And I just thought, if I could even come close to that with Dr. King, that would be doing something. You know, not to sort of further accentuate the iconography, but who is the man behind all of that? And so, you know, soon after Lee stepped away, I started campaigning for her to come on board as director. Thankfully, that campaign was successful, and here we are.
Fantastic.